expectations in the first week or so.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Very glad to hear it. She looks a lot more dialed down. She's got some interest, but nothing like what we saw in the facility. So that's really good. Good job on doing the homework. Questions from this previous week?
What were we saying? So we think she still doesn't understand break, which maybe takes a while.
Yeah,
but
and
she'll
we'll
get kind of scared where like she'll just sit down and we're like, no, go, like break, go pee, go poop, go do whatever.
For sure. So for the break, what I'll do is, if the dog's having a lot of issues with it, it's good. It's bad and it's good. It's bad in the sense because you need to go potty, but it's good because she's showing caution.
Yeah.
Caution is actually what keeps her behavior in check.
Okay.
So if she's having issues with the break, I'll make it literally on a walk. Like I'll walk a few steps, stop, break, nothing. Then I'll walk a little bit more, break. And I keep repeating it over and over and over and over again. And eventually, like you'll start to see her kind of get curious. And then I refrain from saying anything after break because, like you were saying, like go, right to potty. Is the more you talk to her, the more inclined she's actually is to stick to you. Okay. So once you release her, if you have like space, like I release and like move backwards, and I might just like meander for a bit, and she might in the beginning just kind of stick to you. Then if I see bushes or a tree, then I walk over by the tree or whatever to see if it'll engage her, and just ignore her for a bit, and then like just trying to be as nonchalant as possible, and giving her and not giving her any kind of interest. Okay. Otherwise, she'll pick it up. It's just she's taking some time. The other thing is we've been working at higher levels, so she's going to be more so like how do you say, cautious about her decisions. But that's why she's made so much progress. Right? Other questions?
We had so it's kind of a one-off, but we had an interaction outside with 2 other dogs in the building who she's played with in the backyard before.
Okay.
Off leash. And it was just, I didn't exactly know how to
address it.
Like when and if to nick her, because like she wasn't really doing anything wrong. She gave a little nip to the other dog that she gets along with really well.
Sure.
So I wasn't sure how to. Normally we would let them like play, but like in the situation where we're trying to apply the training, I wasn't sure. Especially like on leash made it different because she wasn't totally used to addressing those dogs on leash.
So on leash, because we have 4 responses: fight, flight, avoidance, submission. And when you have her on a leash, you remove flight response. So at least fight, avoidance, submission, right? So like if the dog runs up to her and she feels uncomfortable, she's more likely to lead to fight response. Okay. What happened prior to the nip?
It was mainly like they just kind of walked up to each other and were like sniffing each other out a little bit.
Sure.
It might not even be the right word. It was just kind of like I don't know, they were kind of being playful. Like they get along really well, so I didn't really think anything of it. But I just wasn't sure how to address that situation when because like they'll be pretty aggressive with each other in the backyard off leash. They know each other. Yeah. So I didn't know if I was like hindering something that should have been okay to be happening.
Oh, you mean like in terms of the training, like would it have like negatively impacted it?
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't matter. At that stage, like at this stage, because as you're learning, as long as it's a situation where we're not concerned, like is something going to happen, you can ignore it. And as you go along and you learn more, we're going to tighten things up. Because as you saw over the course of the week, e-collar fixes things, relatively quickly. Okay. So even if someone's practicing the wrong thing, I go, I'm not even going to worry about it. Just do what I told you to do, because I know e-collar is going to fix that, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I guess the other thing I was thinking, like after I nicked her like once or twice, then she did the right thing. Like she sat beside me and just didn't interact with him. But I don't want to discourage good interactions with other dogs. Right.
And that's where so let's say she was under control, right? And you saw the dog approaching, and we're not wanting her to get out of position. Like we would reinforce it, right? Technically. If you didn't, I would have said, don't worry about it, not a big deal. Otherwise, I go break. And that's the release of now you're off the clock, now you can interact. Okay? So that on it, and today we're going to cover the heel command, which is the verbal heel. So you're going to have a verbal on switch. So then it's a very cut and dry. Now she's engaged in the heel, and now she's free to do as she pleases. Okay? So that'll help clarify a few things. And then definitely with the break, if she's being hesitant, just go for a walk with the intention of we're gonna just drill this, and ideally, she gets it. Otherwise, as you apply the heel and the brake commands, she will get it at some point. It's just gonna be a little bit. Okay. What's your working number now?
What's that? So we're anywhere from like 35 to 45, I would say.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Maybe if there's like nobody around and it's just getting her to like get moving. If it's just like me by myself, sometimes it'll be a little bit lower, but usually around, let's say, like 35.
Okay. Have you seen any dog reactivity?
Yeah, and usually with like a nick or two, she sits down and she settles.
Okay. When she's been reactive, any correlation with the dogs? Like, are they being reactive to her? Are they like big dogs, small dogs?
I think it's more the like mannerisms of the other dogs. Like if they're very energetic or like coming after her.
I tell my friends I'm trans.
Then she'll like we had one today where it's like a
No, I tell my friends that I am
pulling its
transgender.
leash, energetic, and we had to go up to 45 or
Siri,
so, and it was
how
still barely
tell
getting
my
her.
friends
Gotcha.
that I'm transgender.
But there have been other ones where, I mean, there were a couple dogs on the street that were
How to
just
tell if
out of
a transgender
control.
is
Chloe
gay.
pulled her over on a 45 and she just sat by it, and they were not that far away and dragging at her.
I
She
tell
was doing
her
well,
sex
just
dog.
to
I
sit
tell
by
her
us.
sex
So,
dog.
Gotcha.
But it's definitely not gone away. When you're pulling up here, just when she's not in the car, you have her in the car, she's barking at people.
Okay, so that in the car, you can correct the e-collar.
Okay.
yeah.
It'd be same approach. You don't. So there's two approaches to the behavior. We have a control and a limit. When she's in the car and she's barking, like let's say you're driving and she's being passed by people, like they're non-threatening.
Yeah.
But for her, whatever, right? She's doing it territorial, she's doing it just anxious, whatever. Is I would want to eliminate that behavior that you just nip, right? And then you find whatever that number is going to be, and then it should be like this, like the kind of she's on and agitated, so the tap like okay, passive, okay, and then you look 46. All right, now we have like a general rate, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's say you're stationary and you're in the car, and there's like someone walking around the car. It's up to you at that point, right? And you may want to keep that, like be the person looks suspicious or what have you. And you don't say anything, just let her bark. But then maybe we have a police officer who's approaching the car, right? And you're not wanting so much to eliminate it, but you do want to control in that context. Is you would say something like quiet, no bark, no whatever your cue is, and then you would remote with whatever the working with is. So when you cue it with the word, she thinks I can't bark until I hear this word. Okay? And when I hear quiet, it means I stop barking. And it's literally just verbal cue and then e-collar until she stops. Okay? When you want to eliminate it, it's just e-collar, no verbal cue until she stops. Okay? And then she'll learn to distinguish things. Like maybe while you're driving and moving, like there's no reason to bark, right?
Yeah.
But when you're stationary, you want the bark, but you want to be able to stop it. So then we don't just promote it, we would cue it, and then she shuts it down. Now remember dogs learning contact, so if like let's say a stranger came up to your car, or let's say a cop came up to your car, no bark, whatever, you stop it. But then shortly after, like a different cop or a homeless person walks up to your car, that is now a new context. She might trigger, so then you'd have to reissue the no bark, whatever your cue is, okay, because it's a different situation. Now if you do it so many times back to back within a 5 to 10 minute time frame, the fourth or fifth time somebody comes by, you'll most likely not see a bark. Because it's fresh in your head of, I've already been corrected 4 times, so I'm just not going to bark this time. That's normal. It doesn't mean it's been eliminated, it just means it happened so much back to back that she's thinking, I'm just not going to. Okay? Other questions?
Another thing is just kind of like what she's doing now. Like she's not going after anybody, but you can tell she's like distracted at everything going around. Are we okay with her?
Yeah, like this here is completely passive. Like when you walked up and she saw like Elizabeth and everything, like her ears, like this isn't so much zoning in. She's a little bit attentive to this German Shepherd here. Give a tap. Tap. Yeah, there we go. So all we're saying is don't look at that German Shepherd, right? So at first, and like looking at this here, like this is very passive mindset. We have ears back, the eyes are soft, we don't have heavy breathing her posture is just, it's up, but it's not like alert up. It's just like proper posture, if you will. This is really, really good. Okay, so always assess kind of like how she's staring when she's looking. You know, it's one thing to be kind of like, you know, taking in the environment, right? Then all of a sudden, I see this dog, and then the stare doesn't stop, and then maybe it becomes more like this. Then it's a little bit more like this, right? You're starting to see a lot of forward movement. Then I'm looking to disengage.
Okay.
So we're still looking for the mouth, open or closed?
Right, so here, so this closed is passive closed.
Okay.
Okay, so open mouth would be like she's stressed, she's anxious, or she's relaxed, right? And then when something changes, closed mouth means tension or something's on the brink, right? But she arrived, when I saw you guys, like I saw like a dog and something like a little dog past you.
Yeah.
And I don't think I saw any reaction, is that correct?
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah. So she's coming in and she's, all right, cool. Like she's, even though her mouth is closed, she's still in a passive
Okay.
state. Okay. So that's why you're reading everything, you're looking at it in context.
So it's more the changing from like passive open mouth, tongue out to then it's closed and then maybe that's something we need to fix.
Correct.
Okay.
But here it's been closed since she's arrived, and she's completely just like in a relaxed state. Okay. Yeah, this is all good. Other questions?
The tightness in the collar.
Looks good.
Okay.
Yeah. From what I can see here, typically if it's too loose, especially with these short hair breeds, it'll roll down to under the neck. Okay. But as long as it stays to the side, like where you placed it, it means you have proper fit. And then if you haven't already, if you have nail polish, whatever, just put a little strip, and then you know you have a consistent spot. Every 2 hours you want to rotate it if she's wearing it extensively, so she doesn't develop pressure sores. Otherwise, it's just she wears it while she's training and stuff. You know, hour here, hour there. The only thing I'd recommend is every time you use it, you do swap spots, because if you keep using the same side, she can develop pressure sores because it's always on the same spot. Okay. Other questions?
I don't think so.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we typically work right here on this path here. We'll just be mindful because, you know, there's bikers and skateboarders and stuff like that. And we'll work on the second half of the heel. Okay. So we're going to start off first with adding in the verbal cue. We're going to add in the word heel. Heel is now the on switch. Okay. So technically, if you don't say that word when you come out with her, she can do whatever she wants. The moment you heel, then you do that. Then the 180 turns and everything that we covered today would kick into effect. Okay. So all we're going to start with first is we're going to just say the word heel, and then we're going to start moving forward with our left leg first. Okay. So it'd be heel, left leg. Now you're moving, you're walking. Go for a little bit. Slow down. Stop. Auto sit. Wait a moment. Heel, left leg. Move for a little bit. Slow down. So stop. Auto sit. Heel. And repeat. Okay. So all we're doing is getting you used to that muscle memory of heel and left leg. And then when you need to turn, you know, just turn whenever you're ready. And then once you come to that stop, auto sit and heel, left leg. Okay.
Heel?
Yep. Tap forward, good.
I was doing it for like, you know when you do something just so you could be like, okay, can I give you your money back? I didn't think she was actually gonna fucking take it. Like, I was just talking.
Good. And what I'm gonna have you do is that you can is keep that left hand at your side. Okay. Heel.
Heel?
Left leg, good. Slowly stop. Keep that left arm down. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna make some tweaks here. Okay. But I'm gonna have you do a couple more times, just heel, left leg. Then we'll swap handlers, and then we'll work on tweaking a couple of things. Okay. That's fine. Good. Last one.
Heel.
Quick, slow turn. Good turn. Keep going, then we're going to swap handlers here, okay? Good. Everybody in the mom's got an off-leash dog out today. Okay, good. Relax arms. Good. Yep, up tap, look sit. Then relax. Good. Good. Keep forward tap. Keep straight tap. Good.
You're good.
From the stop. Good.
Yep.
Yep. Go ahead and hug to your right here. For the dog.
Guinea pig!
Ooh. All right. Good. Yep.
So she starts sniffing and I told give her a
You
tap.
can tap, yeah. Go ahead and slow to stop. Good. One more.
Heel.
Slow to stop. Good. Tip. Good. There you go. So what we're going to do here is she's passing a bit on that slow to stop. You guys notice that?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was the heel, left leg, we're just getting that mechanic down, but every time we're coming to a stop, you're more so relying on the pull up to get her to stop with you. So what we'd actually want to do is when we're slowing down, heel, left leg, right, and you're getting ready to stop, you're doing your job, you're slowing down. Phew, she keeps going. Turn, tap, 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 bring her back, right? So you're corrected there. Then slow down again, relax, come to that stop. So we should be in unison, okay? This is all mental control. The physical guidance is to help when she's confused or if we're trying to teach something. But at this point, definitely for the healing stuff, she should be at least stopping right beside you, that right shoulder to left leg, okay? So, heel, left leg, up, tap. Good job. Can you relax? Good. We'll add bites to the lookout list. Heel, left leg. Then you're slowing down. Leg keeps going. Turn, tap, 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 tap. Bring her back. Slow down again. Stop. Then to sit. Good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So your slack looks. Go ahead and relax your arm. Give just like maybe 4 to 6 inches there. Right there. That's perfect. Okay. Right. Heel.
Heel.
Right now, turn. Tap, tap, tap. Sharp turn. Tap, tap. Keep going. Tap, tap. Good. Slow walk. Slower. Like that. Okay? And on that turn, one immediate one is, right?
Okay.
This is a correctional turn. Correctional turns, she's already not paying attention, you just boom. Okay? You did more of a rounded turn.
Yeah.
Right? So there wasn't much time to create gap. So it's that complete 180, tap, 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 boom. Like that. Okay?
Oh, I need your money though.
What money?
Mike, you know what I heard? Yeah. I heard you're passing out over there.
There you go. Back on your left, let's try it again. Heel.
Heel.
This is why we train here.
Yeah.
It's a lot more different than the facility. Very good. Left foot.
Nobody fuck with the Liam Volume 2. Yeah, Liam Volume 2 is the card. I'm Liam
Very good.
Volume 1. But it's not like my money though.
Good.
Yeah, no, I did this morning.
Right there. So you see how she got ahead of you?
Yeah.
So right there, as she started to get that 1 to 2 steps ahead, you're going to that pivot. Because your intention is to stop, right? But if she keeps going, training-wise, you go into that immediate 180, tap, tap, to line her up so that you're shoulder to shoulder like she was earlier. Right, see the lip lick there?
So like, is that her parent?
So, yep, yep. So there you go. Did you see that shift in the ears? It went from forward to back, right? So she was just looking, then she licked her lips. So it was a moment of, this is stressing me out for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
Then the ears perk up, then you tap, and right when you tap, the nose kicked in, right? So if you ever see her sniffing at stuff, we don't correct. It happened just because of timing, so that's fine. But sniffing is curiosity, okay? And curiosity is social behavior. But any like that complete like stare down as like the dog was passing, yes, that's correctable, okay? Because that can always build to 3-4 lunge, okay? So let's try a couple more of the heels to the stopping together. Then we'll swap, do another batch to make sure that we're getting it, and then we're gonna work on the next thing, okay? And so slow here. That's okay. Good, one more. Tap, tap, tap. Right, now forward, yep. There you go. Right there, tap, tap, tap. You got it, good. Good. Slow stop. Much better. Okay. So it was just that little bit.
Yeah.
She was much more slower walking with you, and everything else, but you just weren't getting that unison. Okay?
Yeah.
That stop before this one, just so you know, was abrupt. I don't know if you caught that. Because you did turn, turn, then you lined her up and then you went boom, boom.
Okay, so she was going to be ahead of me with that.
Right? So if she would have gotten ahead of you there, technically it would have been it's because of an unfair stop.
Yeah.
The only reason you got it is because you did do correction, so she was in a heightened state of focus. But on a regular walk, when you're going 20 minutes in one direction, if you just do that, you're going to get that bypass, okay?
Okay.
So always remember, slow down before we turn and slow down before we stop, okay? Just want to swap handlers.
Oh, sí.
You're going to do the same thing, heel left leg, and we're just focusing on slowing down before those stops so we stop in unison.
Heel.
Yeah, forward. There you go. Good. Got a little distracted, what to say. That's fine. Yep, good. There it is. Add a girl. Good girl. Keep forward, Cap. Good. There she goes. Good girl. Good turn, Cap. Good. Better. Very good. Let's try 3 more.
Yep.
Good girl. Good girl. That's okay. 2 more.
Yep.
I want donuts now. Let's get donuts on the collar.
Huh?
Get donuts on the collar.
I always want donuts.
It's fun.
She has matching pajamas with donuts on too.
Does she?
Yeah. That's how we met her, and then we knew she was going to be ours.
Should have named her Donut. I trained a pity. Her name was Pretzel.
Oh, that's so
Because
cute.
they found her and they had she had like a pretzel collar.
Yeah.
Good. Beautiful. Okay? So, e-collars are all about mental game, mental control. Okay? Our instinct is always physical restraint stuff. Creates more agitation. I look at leash tension as guidance on before, remember with the sit, when we were pulling up and tapping until she figured it out. or with the turn, if we're going opposite way, at some point the leash is going to get hot and direct her to like, oh, we're going that way now, right? So if there's leash tension, it's communication both from you to Lake, but also from Lake to you. Because if you're walking and you know she's a good girl and she's walking here, and all of a sudden I feel this, what does that tell me? She's pulling to the left, right? She's sniffing something, or maybe she's stalling. So, because that's why that slack is so important. Is because if we feel tension, it's because Lake is doing something she shouldn't do.
Right.
Okay. So excellent. Questions about that?
I think
So what we're gonna do now are the turns. Last week we focused on Lake, pay attention to you, de-escalation, calm her down. Now we're gonna work on proper communication. So heel, left leg is the cue of now we're starting. And everything we covered last week and everything we covered this week is then going to go into effect, okay? So when we make our left turns, I call these the crossover turns because we're going to be crossing over Lake. You're going to lead them with your right leg, okay? I like to use the sidewalk as my guide with the cracks here. So if I'm going to turn left for the sake of practice, I suggest that you hug to the right here. You'll be on the side of the sidewalk. As you're walking, you're going to slow down before that turn. Lake should slow down with you. And you're going to cross, and you're going to cut at a 90-degree angle, right on the line with your right leg, then left leg, and then you would cut it again with your right leg, and you would be going the opposite way. So it'd be right, left, right, okay? And I'm being really exaggerated for the sake of demonstration. And in the beginning, I suggest you do so as well until you get used to the movements, okay? Then once you get it, it's just slow down, right, left, right. It's a very casual turn, okay? But in the beginning, these really sharp cuts help both you and Lake get that turn down, okay? So you're leading with the leg opposite to the turn. If you turn in with your left leg, because Lake is so close, you end up cutting her out or tripping over her, okay? You have a dog close, by the way. So, left, right. The next one is the 180 pivots to the immediate right. Good girl. It's such a big change. I love it. I love it. So, if we're walking with Lake and we need to make a right turn, an immediate right turn, this is when she's paying attention. Because if she's not paying attention, you just do this. Yeah, okay? But we're walking, slow down. We're going to extend. We're going to go left, right, left. You did a left turn. Yeah, try it. So it's left to the opposite left, then back on your right, then forward to left, like the other way. Left, right, there you go, left, there you go. Okay? So you should be on that third step going back the opposite way. Okay, so you're making a 180 turn, but this is when Lake is paying attention. Okay, so it would be unfair to just turn out of nowhere. Either way, because you know what you're doing, she doesn't. You know when you're stopping, you know when you're turning left. So if our communication is correct and Lake's attention is where we want it to be, there's no leash pressure, there's no remote or anything like that. It's all done through body language. Okay, dogs are masters of reading body language, and everybody's always like, "How did the dog do that so quick?" Like, because you're talking their language. Okay, that's why it's this fast. So again, left turn, crossing with that right leg. So it would be right, left, right. Now we're going the opposite way. And for the pivot, it's left, right, left. Okay, and I'll coach you through it. It'll make more sense if you're walking with it, okay? We're gonna start with the crossover turn first, because that tends to be the hardest for people. And just remember, when you're getting ready to do that turn, make sure you slow down. If you slow down and your intention is to left turn, but Lake keeps going, what do we want to do? Turn and tap, get her back on line again. If the turns feel awkward, it means we did something incorrect or she's not paying attention. Okay, and you'll as you practice, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because you're gonna be like, man, that was really weird. Like I had kind of trying to run in front of the dog like this. I'm like, clearly that's not working because the dog should be turning with you. So if it feels awkward, you did something incorrect or she's not paying attention. So just remember, if she's not in position, you do that correctional turn, dial her in, and then try to turn again. Okay? You ready? So we'll do a batch of the 5 left turns. we'll keep an eye on the scolds here. Good.
Yep.
Left leg. Good. Right, left, right. Just like that. 4 more. Right, left, right. See, that was a little bit off the right. And it was just a little bit of her placement, but you were fine. You powered through it. 3 more. Right, left, right. Beautiful. 2 more. Tap. Good tap, good move, tap. Yep, you got it. Good job. Good. Right.
Come on, Nick, you're doing so good.
That's okay. Right, left, right. Right, left, right. Excellent. 1 more. Good, good. Right there. Beautiful. And slow to stop when you're ready. Very good. So you can even see her looking at you, right? Because when you're crossing into her eyesight, she doesn't want to crash into you. So then she starts to give space. And then on a couple of them, she started to space out to the left. The reason that is because now you're crossing into her personal space. So then she's trying to find that right positioning. Were there taps there? So she just got nervous. Yeah. Something to just flag that. It's not bad, but you're just flagging that so that you can be proactive. Like we know skateboarders from behind might be an issue, right? It's normal. But it looked at first like she was being remoted, but she was wincing. But she was wincing because of the behind the first. Yeah. Okay. Good. So now we're gonna do the 180 pivots to the immediate right. So that's the left, right, left, left. Which you did one actually during that thing. And then going the opposite way. Okay? Whenever you're ready. Left, right, tap, tap. Good, because she, even though you did your job, she wasn't paying attention. Left, right, left. Very good. Atta girl. Left, right, left. Beautiful. 3 more. Left, right, left. Awesome. Look, there we go. Good girl. Left. Yep. Yep. Good job. Last one. Very good. Slow to stop when you're ready. Good stop. Very good. Excellent. Pump handlers.
Thank you.
Oh, good boy.
We'll start first with the left turns, okay? That's right, left, right. Left, right. Did that feel a little awkward?
Yeah.
Because the right step was not a complete 90 degree, you were like a 45 degree, so you have to compensate with the next two. So you're cutting right in front of her with that right leg at a 90 degree angle. Right, left, right, better. Right, left, right. Good. Now, those are good, your movements are good. We're gonna add that slow down prior to that turn. Much better. Very good. Yep. Very good. That was good. Let's try one more. And speed up so that when you slow down, it's a bit more drastic. You got it. Good job. Yep, keep going. Good. Slow to stop when you're ready. Excellent. Now we're going to do the pivots. That's the left, right, right. Yeah, exactly. Okay? Now you're ready. Yep, tap tap, because she got distracted. That's okay. You did your job. There you go. Good. I'm going to have you hold on that left, like delay it, like a split second or so, to give her a bit more time to turn with it, okay? There you go. That's like that. Good. Very good. Just like that. 3 more. You got bites coming, by the way. You got it. Good job. Move in. You got it. Good. Yep. Very good. Last one. Tap, tap. You got distracted by that golden over there. Right. Good job. Excellent. Go ahead and step aside here, and I'll give you your homework, your instructions for the week, and all that stuff. Okay? Excellent. Good job.
Thank you.
Very good job. So now you guys can see why I insist that people should do decoy.
Yeah.
It's the impression. You know, it's called a shock collar. The reason why they call it a shock collar is because back when they first came out, there was only like 5 settings. 1 through 5. We have 127 now, so we have 127, 122 more breaks, nuances in between the settings. So it was like either your dog was yelping or your dog wasn't listening, is what it came down to with those. And then the technology wasn't as refined as it is today. It was a bit more uncomfortable and or quote unquote shocking, right? That's where it got its name from. That's why I call it e-collar, or as opposed to that term, because that just psychologically puts that impression in people's head, right?
Use that.
So, great progress, awesome work. It was just discipline and structure just to help settle her down, learn how to handle the world, okay? If you want to continue to help exposure, like with, for instance, with that bike earlier and then that skateboarder, I start, most people when they get a dog and showing reactivity stuff, they tend to withdraw. To hide themselves in the home and all that stuff, right? Which I get it, especially if you don't know, have controller, but if you're trying to find the tools and you don't have the right trainer, like, I get it, right? Yeah. But then the dog just becomes more of a enclosed problem, you know? Right. So now that you have good control, to help a nervous, anxious dog is exposure, okay? So like, coming here, great. We saw the bike thing, we saw the skateboard thing, and I said, flag that, because now we know we have something that we can use. better of how to handle things. Okay? So the more you expose her to all these things, the more she's able to go like, oh, okay, there's nothing bad or nothing I need to think about with these things. You know, she's seeing it 100 times a day. But the difference is now she's seeing it in a passive state, as opposed to on a stimulated state where she's going to escalate and go to the next level. Okay? So now this is heal. This is the total package. Everything we did last week, everything that we did today. So once you cue that word, it's her job to focus on you, but it's also your job to communicate what you're doing. That slowing down, that change of pace is super important. And then for the turns and stuff, with the right leg for the left turns and the pivots with the left leg, if you're just making a soft right, you would simply just turn with your left like that, just going that way. If you're making a soft right, you simply just turn with your right leg and go that way. Okay, so those are the two easy ones. You're leading with the leg opposite to the turn.
Right.
Left turns with the right leg, right turns with the left leg. Okay, and that because dogs have a wider peripheral range than we do, so she can see that movement, and that tells her what you're doing, so she can just naturally move with you. What I suggest before your walks is once she has her business done, do 5 heels stops, making sure she's stopping with you, correcting if not. 5 heel to left turns, and then 5 heel to pivots, and then start your walk. So you're gonna only cover like so much ground, right? You get that in your muscle memory. Now you start your exercises, right? Now you start your training walk. During the walk, the hard part's gonna be we're gonna make a left turn at that stop sign, and now you have to start timing your leg movements so that you do that correctly. For the slow down, at least 3 steps. You can do more, right? So to make it easier for you as you're walking towards that stop sign, you just slow down, keep going slow, and then okay, now's my chance. Then I go for it. Okay. Once you get used to it, you don't even think about it. Yes, I've been doing. I can't. For me, if I try to do it wrong to show it to someone, I can't because it's so ingrained in me to do it.
We're training
correctly.
ourselves too. Yeah.
Yeah. So once you get that down, easy peasy. If it feels awkward, maybe we didn't slow down. Almost always, when clients struggle with, they're like, Jesse, the dog's not turning with me or whatever, I'll tell them you're probably not slowing down. Okay. The second thing would be we're not at the appropriate number that's getting her to focus as much as we need her to. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Questions about any of that stuff? We talked about stepping aside with dogs and all that stuff, right? Shorting the leash, watching her. Whenever you see a potential trigger or stimulus, your responsibility is leg, right? So then you look at leg, use your peripheral range, see what's going on, you know, with the bike and stuff, so you can keep watching her, read her body language, and catch her if anything starts to happen. We also want to start giving trust, which is like the hard part, especially when I get clients that have had their dog for like years or like months, and it's like really just like ingrained in them, like my dog was reactive. So when you're looking at her and we see something like a dog or a bike or whatever that trigger may be approaching, it's hard not to get like anxious and anticipate and like just proactively tap, right? Is you got to give that trust of, I know you're going to behave yourself, but if you don't, I know I can control it. You know, like it's a two-way thing there. And then as it approaches, you know, you might get like,
I get that ticket up.
no, good, and we let it go. Okay. You've gotten great progress in the week, which is great, but I don't want you to become complacent. Super common. Okay. I don't want you to be paranoid, like, oh my God, she's never going to be better. But I don't want you to get complacent. You're always just aware. You know, when I have dogs that have issues, dog aggression, human aggression, all that stuff, I'm always aware. I always watch how I behave. I worked with a fear human dog aggressive Doberman earlier. He was on the muzzle and stuff, and I was in his personal space, moving the leash around because we're doing recalls. I'm doing a lot of handling with them, and I haven't seen any aggression from him the last few times that I met him. But in the back of my head, I'm still thinking like, you know, watch how you move. I just don't go in there, come on, bud, give me that. And she's like, however, be very comfortable with them because I know what he's about, right? So same thing with Lake. We know she's been good. It's been 3 months and stuff. You still see the trigger. I still take a look. How you feeling about this? You okay? Good girl. Boom. We keep walking. Okay. When it comes to like people and approaching and socializing, we can start that process. Did we talk about muzzle training and stuff?
We tried. I'm wondering if our muzzle is too big for her. Like, so she'll eat it, or she'll eat out of it, she'll have it on, she's fine. But she wants to take it off within like 10 seconds.
Sure.
So it can sit on there, but...
Are you doing treats or food?
Food.
Her diet, like
Yeah.
her okay. So is the food in the muzzle and she's going in, pulling some out and eating, or is she eating as it's in there, but as soon as it's gone, she's like, I'm done?
That's
That's it. And
the
she can
line.
get her tongue pretty far down there, so she can kind of have her head up and just kind of lick her kibble out of it almost.
Gotcha.
Like we had it in like a plastic bag, and then trying to get her to take it out.
Sure.
Or then we
Also
said,
use like an empty bottle of peanut butter. So just like her in the muzzle and like peanut butter down here, and she'll lick it. But then once it's gone for like 3 seconds, she starts pawing it off to the bottom, and she gets out of it.
Gotcha. See a little lip lick there?
yeah.
So
Like
that's-
camper for this, or?
Right, because that was like a 3 to 5 second stare. So it was like within 1 second of acknowledging, it was the lip lick. And then it was about 3 to 4 more seconds of staring, right? So as soon as and you can, it's pretty evident, because when the dog's gonna like just like glance, like it's a glance, so it's like whatever. But Rat, she's pretty easy to read in terms of when she's gonna lock on. So I would cap her about like, half second to a second in. And then what we create is she'll naturally just kind of disengage herself and not let her get locked into that mindset. Okay. So you had the basket style, right?
Yeah.
And you did the Ziploc in there, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I would try is a little bit of kibble in your hand, and you're putting the muzzle over your hand. So if she tries to lick it, you can pull your hand back, right? Because there's those holes, and she has to stick her head in further, her mouth in further, so that you can come in with the food to reward the full entry. Okay. And let me see here. Try that out. See how she does.
Yeah.
Just keep with the food stuff. In most cases, when we deal with the socializing part and everything, if the dog is really under stress, they're still going to fight the muzzle regardless if you've done conditioning or not. Then I go into forced conditioning, which is what we call it. Okay, and I go, you can try to fight it, but I have this thing that's going to make you not fight it. Okay, I try to avoid that because typically, like how she's got her dew claws there.
Yeah.
Yeah, dogs will rip off their dew claws. We actually had a dog rip off her dew claw and split a nail trying to remove the muzzle at our facility this past week. And we had to force condition it, use the remote stuff, and now she doesn't bother with it. Or they'll scratch up their face. I've done this for so long now, like they heal up, they're fine. But of course, for the owners, it's like hard to watch. And I actually have a video of us force conditioning a dog here because the owner just showed up and she didn't have time to muscle train the dog. So like, all right, well, we're here, we got to do it. And we made it happen.
Yeah.
But
one interesting thing is she's been to the vet 2 or 3 times. They have more of like a cloth
the mesh muzzle
that they put on her, and I think it might just be like the setting that she's in, that she's almost just like shutting down and
not one
allowing it to happen. But like she'll take it. Yeah, like we put it on and she doesn't do anything to it. But it might just be like the setting, she's like even more uncomfortable there. Maybe she's like shutting down and just like not even trying to take it
that's
off.
possible. It could also be like maybe just the unfamiliar object.
Yeah.
Like it's the same similar thing but different looking.
Mm-hmm.
The reason for the basket is because she can still drink water, still eat, open her mouth and pant. It's meant for extended wear, whereas the mesh muzzle is more so temporary wear.
Yeah.
We could even like start the socialization process. You use the mesh muzzle if, like, let's say she's taking to it and like allowing that, just to start that process. While on the side you're still conditioning the other muzzle until you can get it to the point where she can hold it or keep it on for a period of time.
Okay.
Otherwise,
what's the time frame we should be going for? Like
for the muzzle?
Yeah, like 2 minutes at a time, 5 minutes at a time.
Oh, in terms
like,
of the exercises?
Yeah, while we're trying to condition her, because
so like let's say she eats 2 cups a day, okay, to make math easy. 2 cups a day, and I could do 4 quarter cup sessions. I'm sorry, 4 half cup. Yeah. 4 half cups each time.
Yeah.
So I got 4 times a day that I can practice it, or I can do 8 quarter cup sessions.
Okay.
So it's a short 30.
They're really short sessions.
But there's multiple of them, right? And then what you're trying to, so with repetition, it's about rate of reinforcement and repetitions, right? So it's like feed that entire 2 minutes or whatever, but she's only getting a quarter cup of food. You know, but and it's happening 8 times a day.
Yeah.
Is that's how dogs tend to get counter conditions more quickly.
Yeah.
So like the bull terrier that we have at our facility that we muzzle train, that's what I did. He eats 3 cans of food a day, and we just did half can, so half can 6 times a day, and then within a week and a half, like he wears a muzzle and he's fine. Okay.
So our problem probably was we just took basically her whole food, put it in the muzzle.
One big session.
and
Yeah,
then
we put her
she was
entire
eating it,
session
like,
in
at the
there.
top.
Yeah.
So she didn't even have to really get her head down.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So yeah, just take whatever her meal is, whether it's 3 cups a day, 2 cups a day, and go. We want to do half cup sessions, or we want to do quarter cup sessions, and then if she doesn't eat, she doesn't eat, right? And I don't compensate food. So if she doesn't eat 2 cups out of the 3 cups for the day, she's only getting a cup of food for the day. And we're waiting for that hunger to build up because she's gonna think, man, whenever that muzzle comes out, it's the only time I get food.
Yeah.
I refrain from any treats and stuff like that. So it's the only time you're gonna eat anything is from this object. Okay. And I've had dogs go days without eating because they're like, screw that, I'm not putting my mouth in there. I'm like, you will sooner or later.
And then actually
Okay.
write down.
The other thing we were wondering about is the size. So we have the 4, and it literally comes up like almost here, where it's like nearly hitting the bottom of her eye.
Sure.
Which
She might
should
be
we
a
go
3.
to a 3?
She
Or
might
at least
be a
try
3.
it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
It should look fairly comfortable or whatever. And I know the 4 and the 3, and her snout, like she's got a short snout, so I
Right.
can imagine is there like a bit of space with the 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely space.
So she's probably more of a
Okay.
fan.
We'll try that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
I think so.
Awesome.
Good progress so far.
Yeah.
Good. Absolutely. We appreciate it. If you need anything else, you let us know. Otherwise, you have your homework for the week.
Yeah.
If all this is going well, what I would probably do, you can test out the muzzle thing, is you can set up the Zoom for the in-home kind of people coming over stuff.
Yeah.
I would send you a video, an hour-long session that we did pre-COVID where I was actually going to the home and showing in person how to do the exercise. I'd send that to you. You'd make sure you want to watch that first to learn what the exercise is. And then there might be some loose ends that you may not kind of be aware of, and you'll ask questions like the first half of the Zoom.
Right.
And the second half of the Zoom would be we have someone knock them over.
Okay.
Okay? And then I coach you through it. If you're having trouble finding people, I'm working with one of my employees where he's actually coming over, and he even has like a suit and stuff, so we can even do it sans muzzle and see like will she do anything, and we can correct it if she does. So I'd be me over the Zoom, but him there with his bite suit to see what we get.
Maybe we try to work on muzzle first, and if we can get that down, then I think we have enough people that we can sucker into
Yeah.
coming over.
Coming over there to be okay with her.
Yep. So there's that. And otherwise, if this is going well, then we continue with just standard obedience like we would. The next thing I cover is most likely recall. That's the next important thing that every dog should know.
Yeah.
You would need a long 30-foot leash. Nylon.
One of those?
Huh?
We have one of those. So
You have
no
one?
problem.
Okay,
Yeah.
yep. Like a standard nylon leash, 30
Yeah.
feet or longer is fine. But at minimum 30, 20 tends to be not realistic enough. And we'll just start working on recall stuff. And then you schedule in that Zoom or whatever once you're ready for it.
Yeah.
And then we'll just take it from there. Okay?
Great.
So, yeah.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Thank
So
you.
see you in a week. If anything
Yeah.
pops up, you let us know. Otherwise, good job.
Okay. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Yeah.